Hey guys, last night's vote was a close call, but the winner of the poll was choice 1, which is what if Anakin was never discovered by the Jedi. We'll leave number 4, which was the second most popular choice, for tomorrow's episode, if you all wished. Now, what if Qui Gon never discovered Anakin? In this video, I'd like to discuss the major topics that would be changed in the galaxy, rather than somewhat smaller events that took place in episode 1, such as Anakin's help with the Battle of Naboo and other details. Rather, we will go into a larger vision of what would truly happen. I'm first going to start by stating something from the book Darth Plagueis, which was written by James Luceno. It is known that Plagueis did attempt to influence the midichlorians to create the ultimate Sith weapon alongside Darth Sidious. However, the experiment was ultimately a failure, and the midichlorians, sensing the Sith's inherent malevolent intention, not only refused to do so, but in retaliation, conceived Anakin Skywalker in order to destroy the Sith once and for all. So as you can see, Plagueis didn't actually create Anakin. He merely tried to create the chosen one for the Sith, but the midichlorians rebelled and created their own chosen one to bring balance to the Force. During the crisis on Naboo, Plagueis was surprised to discover the existence of Anakin Skywalker, a young human boy born without a father. Plagueis concluded that not only had the midichlorians resisted his will, but they had also retaliated by engineering the conception of the Jedi Order's long-awaited Chosen One, a Jedi destined to restore balance to the Force by destroying the Sith. Now also in the book, it states that during the Phantom Menace, Darth Plagueis used the Force to reach out to feel Anakin's energy, and was hit with the Force visions of a robotic monster rising from a metal bed, feeling his effects on the fate of the galaxy. He knew of Anakin's existence, and if he knew, he would have informed his apprentice, Emperor Palpatine, as well as writing it in his diary, which he referred to religiously. If Qui Gon had never discovered Anakin, I do undoubtedly believe that Palpatine would discover his presence and do exactly what he did with Darth Maul, now with Anakin, taking him from his mother and training him to be a Jedi assassin. At Maul's demise in the Phantom Menace, he would continue to train Anakin while taking Dooku as his right hand for all of the dealings on Geonosis and the completion of the clone army. The Jedi would continue to do their best in serving peace and justice to the galaxy, just as we had seen in episode 2, while little Anakin would be trained by Palpatine's torturous and inhumane yet scholarly teachings in the ways of the dark side. Essentially, his admittance to the Jedi Academy at the end of the film would now be met with his foot stepped into the world of the Sith. Palpatine would teach him everything he knew to create the perfect weapon, just as his master and himself had originally tried to create. Anakin would rise to become Darth Vader. However, he would have no emotional ties to the Jedi, allowing him to become even more ruthless and bloodthirsty just as Maul was. Like Palpatine, he would eventually learn to master all 7 forms of lightsaber combat, allowing him to express his talents and abilities to all aspects of the dark side and the various fighting styles, allowing him to adapt to any opponent and any surrounding. Episode 3 would change in the sense that now Palpatine would be fully confident to release the fully powerful Vader onto the galaxy and to the Jedi, just as he had spent decades training Maul until his formal appearance in Episode 1. Now this is where things change a bit. After Palpatine would announce Grievous was on Utapau, causing the Council to send Obi-Wan to deal with him, he would request Master Windu to his office, where he would have Anakin hiding behind the door. Having mastered the art of concealment as Sidious had, he would wait for Windu to enter the Chancellor's office. Sensing something was wrong, Master Windu would ignite his lightsaber and fight to the death against a teamed Vader and Sidious. Overpowered, he would eventually die a well-fought death. Executing Order 66, Palpatine would send Anakin to Mustafar after ambushing the Jedi Temple with the clones, only to fight Obi-Wan on the planet. Now, this is where we have to really think. Anakin's powers weren't properly realized until he completely submersed himself to the dark side when he thought Padme betrayed him.
I love you!
Liar! This only gave Anakin that brief amount of time from that moment to truly feel his new powers manifest themselves. If Qui Gon had never found him and Palpatine did, his powers would have been actualized and surpassed this far long ago, causing him to not only become more powerful, experienced, and skilled, but to not become arrogant with his new powers, retaining a colder, much more calculated fighting methodology. Anakin would kill Obi-Wan, as I do believe he would have finished him in the original timeline as well, if only he hadn't let his arrogance get the best of him, and waiting a little longer to travel down the riverbank, diminishing Kenobi's high ground. Anakin would meet Sidious on Mustafar only to celebrate their victories in both their battles. Padme would have married Paulo with his
dark curly hair, dream yet.
Yoda would seek exile in Dagobah. Luke and Leia would never exist, and Vader would become the face of the Empire with Palpatine pulling the strings in the shadows. Their Iron Fist would rule as master and apprentice, spreading fear and power like a veil of evil over the galaxy. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to watch this episode. If you haven't joined the Facebook page, I'll leave the link down below. Please leave me a thumbs up, and I'll see you all in tomorrow's episode of Star Wars Theory. I wish you all a great day or night, my fellow Jedi and Sith friends. Until then,
may the Force be with you.
Now, fulfill your destiny.